Hello, I'm Ken Fobb. This is NewsNet, Baton Rouge. Grab a tea or coffee as I go over with you headlines and news from our local area and region. The board president of the nonprofit that oversees Advantage Charter Academy in Baker has told the for-profit company that runs the school if it does not change direction soon, the board will start looking for another operator. Board President Walter Morales, while speaking to representatives of the Grand Rapids, Michigan-based National Heritage Academies Company during a board meeting in Baton Rouge recently, also said, quote, "If you come back in August and you're running the school as you were running it before, it ends." All of this is partly because the Advantage Charter School in late May, according to news reports, told many parents during the last week of school that their children would be held back and not passed to the next grade, in spite of the fact that many of those children had passing grades. After expressed outrage from parents, there was a flip-flop, and Advantage school officials quickly changed their minds and allowed dozens more children to advance to the next grade, citing that the reason was because they failed to inform parents early enough in the year that their children were in danger of failing their current grade. The National Heritage Academies, to whom Morales was speaking, operates more than 80 K through 8th grade charter schools across this country, serving more than 59,000 students. 3 of those schools are located in Louisiana, they being Willow Charter Academy in Lafayette, and in East Baton Rouge Parish, the Inspired Charter School of Baton Rouge and the Advantage Charter Academy in the city of Baker. It has been reported that all 3 schools currently have D academic letter grades. After the recent meeting in Baton Rouge, Morales was reported as saying National Heritage Academies has made some positive moves and that it is listening to his board's concerns. But he says he and the rest of the board will be watching closely during the 2019-2020 school year for signs of positive change. And if there are none, they are prepared to change who will continue to operate the Advantage Charter School of Baker. In Baton Rouge, the district attorney's office has filed an additional obstruction of justice charge against Matthew Naquin over the hundreds of files that were deleted from his phone. But prosecutors will pursue those charges after the completion of Naquin's negligent homicide trial, which is set to start in a few days. During a recent hearing concerning the destruction of cell phone evidence on Wednesday, prosecutors argued before Judge Bo Higginbotham that Matthew Naquin's mass deletion of his phone files on November 8, 2017 is integral to their case. The judge ruled that members of the jury in his upcoming homicide trial can be told that the former LSU fraternity member accused in the 2017 hazing death of Max Groover did delete roughly 700 files on his cell phone shortly after a search warrant was issued for his device. This means at his trial on the negligent homicide charge, the DA will be permitted to argue the fact that Naquin's deletion of this evidence is proof that he committed other crimes, that being obstruction of justice, in an attempt to destroy evidence of his guilt in a negligent homicide. The victim, Max Groover of Roswell, Georgia, was 18 years old when he died of alcohol poisoning after a hazing ritual involving the Phi Delta Theta fraternity. His blood alcohol level at the time of his death was 0.495, which is more than 6 times the legal limit to drive in Louisiana. An autopsy also found THC in his system, which comes from the use of marijuana. The accused, Matthew Naquin, faces up to 5 years in prison if convicted of negligent homicide. A judge from the 21st Judicial District Court, which covers Livingston Parish, Tangible Hold Parish, and St. Helena Parish, has retired after nearly 24 years on the bench. Judge Doug Hughes, a native of Denham Springs, who happens to be the son of the late Milton Hughes, who himself served 44 years on the Livingston Parish School Board, is retiring 18 months before his current term ends, which would be December 31st, 2020. Doug Hughes was elected in October of 1995 and spent his first years on the bench in family and juvenile court. He moved to the civil and criminal sections in 1997. An election to replace Judge Hughes will likely be held in October 2019 so that the state does not incur expense of a special election, but that has not been finally determined as of yet. These have been headlines and news from our local area and region. I'm yours truly, Ken Fobb. I'll see you next time right here on NewsNet, Baton Rouge. Have a safe and great weekend.